Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whenever you are watching this video, let me welcome you all to our channel Future Endeavors. Okay, now let's quickly move on to the topic that we are discussing. In the previous two classes, we have been discussing about the household circuits, isn't it? So now today will be the last lecture on the chapter household circuits. Then we'll be moving on to the next chapter. So please stay tuned with us. And please be patient a little bit. We are trying to upload the videos with a higher frequency, so I hope you will all be cooperating with us. Okay. Now let us see what are the remaining topics today. We have already discussed how power is generated in the power stations, how the power is being transmitted from the power station to the households or the industries. And we have also learned a bit about the wiring system that we apply in our houses. Okay, so today we will be first of all discussing the color coding for the wires. Now, as you know, we have been discussing that there are three kinds of wires. So put down the heading color coding of wires. Okay, color coding of the wires. Now see, as we have been discussing, there are actually three wires that we use. One is the live wire, through which actually the power or the I should not say power, the current comes into the device. That is one neutral wire through which the current goes back to the source, and there is another earth wire. So according to the color conventions, so if I consider the older convention, so older convention says that live wire is being given by, so older convention, just see, so there are three wires: the live wire, the neutral wire, and the earth wire. Okay, earth wire. Now see, in the older convention, live wire are denoted by the red color, neutral wire is denoted by the black color, and the earth wire is denoted by the green color. Okay, so these are the three color codings: red, black, and green. Fine. And according to the new convention, live wire is denoted by the color brown, neutral wire by the color blue, and the earth wire by the color yellow. Okay, so please do remember, sometimes this are being asked in the examination. Okay, now let us quickly discuss. So these are the three wires. I have already discussed about the live and neutral wire. Now you might be wondering what is the necessity for the earth wire, or next topic that we are going to discuss is the need for earthing. Okay, so I hope you have noted it down. Else please pause the video, move back a little, and copy down the color coding of the wires. Okay. Now next is what is the need for the earthing. Next topic is what is the need for earthing. So these are easy topics. These are non-numerical topics. It's easier to understand. Just you need to have the concept. Okay. So see, what is the requirement for the earth wire, isn't it? See, if an appliance, consider an appliance which has a metallic casing. Okay, consider an appliance which has a metallic casing. There are many wires in the appliance, present in the appliance. Now, among those wires, if any live wire, within the appliance, the insulation of the live wire breaks, and the live wire slightly comes in touch with the metallic casing of the appliance or device. In this case, what will happen? Can you imagine? The metallic case is a metal, as it is made of metal, it's a good conductor of electricity, isn't it? So if it is a good conductor of electricity, then the metallic casing will also be electrified, isn't it? The metallic casing will get electrified. Now, when you are operating with this device, when you just touch the metallic casing by accidentally, suddenly you touch the metallic casing, you will get a shock. Why? Because our body is also a good conductor and we are in contact, say, with the earth. If you are not in contact with the earth or not in contact with the ground, then you might not get the shock, as because current always needs a path to flow through. If you are sitting on a insulating material, like say on a wooden chair or sitting on a sofa set, then you might not get the shock, as because you are not in direct contact with the ground. But if you are in direct contact with the ground, barefooted, not wearing any shoe or any sandal, you are standing barefooted on the ground, then definitely you will get a shock, and that might cause damage to your body. So to prevent this, comes the requirement for the earthwear. What happens? What does the earthwear does? The earthwear is directly connected to the metal casing. Okay, the earthwear is directly connected to the metal casing of the appliance, and it is then taken out. Okay, so whenever the live wire accidentally comes in contact with the metallic casing, the extra electrons that starts to accumulate on the body of the metallic casing will start flowing through this earthwear, and the earthwear is connected to the main earthwear of the household circuit, and by that the extra electron will start flowing, or the current will start flowing through the earthwear, and it will get grounded. Now in this process, what happens? The resistance of the entire connection becomes quite low. As a result, a high current starts flowing. As a result of that high current, what happens? Your MCB or your fuse might get turned off, or the fuse might get broken, fuse wire, and as a result the connection will go off. In this way, you will be safe from getting a shock, as because before you touch the appliance, already the MCB or the fuse, that are the safety devices, will cause an break in the supply to the device. Okay, in this way you will be saved from any accident, isn't it? So this is the main concept of the wiring system, isn't it? This is the main concept of the earthwear system. So I hope you have understood the requirement for the earthwear. Now, where from all the connections of your switchboards that are present in your each individual room, where does those earthwares ultimately go? Now see, all the earthwares are taken together and combined to form a single wire that is actually grounded through the main switch. Some of you might have seen in your houses that on the main switch, junction box of the main switch, a wire is being taken from that main switch and it is directly put to the ground, directly connected to the ground. So actually all the earthwares from the different switchboards of your rooms are connected together to form a single wire, and that single wire is being taken and connected to the earthware of the main switch. In this way, what happens? The earthing is done, and this is done in order to provide us the required safety. Okay, so I hope you have understood the need for earthing. Okay, now next topic that we will be discussing is the 3-pin plug and socket. 3-pin plug and socket. Okay, so what's the 3-pin plug and socket? Okay, so next topic is 3-pin plug and socket. 3-pin plug and socket. Okay, so what is the requirement for the 3-pin plug and socket? What is the 3-pin plug and socket system? Now see, many of you have seen, and all of you actually should have seen, that in a house the plug that is being provided on the switchboard has 3 sockets. Socket is actually the hole, say this is a plug. You will see something like this, rectangular or square shaped, and there are, say, sometimes 3 or sometimes 5. Okay, so like this there are connections provided in your house, isn't it, on the plug. These two are a bit closer and the next one a bit farther. Okay, now what happens, what are these 3 sockets? The sockets are actually the holes provided on the switchboard, and the plug that you put into the socket have similarly 3 pins. Now you might have seen that one pin is bigger than the other 2 pins. The 2 pins are of the same size. The left side is the pin for the live wire. Okay, the right side is the pin for neutral wire, the neutral connection, and the upper bigger hole is actually the earth wire or for the earth connection. Okay, fine, earth wire or the earth connection. Okay, so why the earth connection or the earth wire plug or socket is larger in size? So that we actually do not accidentally put the live pin into the earth pin. For that reason, what happens, the earth pin is made bigger or the earth socket is also being made bigger, so that we do not make any mistake and put the earth pin exactly into the earth socket. So this is the 3 pin plug and socket system, and the main reason for the making the earth pin or the earth socket a bigger in size than the other 2 pins or the other 2 sockets is to avoid any mistake. Okay, so you have understood the 3 pin plug and socket system. Okay, and from this every earth socket that are provided on the plugs, the earth wire, as I have discussed, are altogether connected to form a single wire, and that single wire is then again taken to a main switch, and from the main switch it is being directly grounded, so that this entire ground system circuit, the grounding system is complete, circuit is complete. Okay, fine. So the 3 pin plug and socket system is clear. Okay, now let us quickly move on to the last topic of today's lecture, or last topic of this chapter, rather I can say. It is the safety precautions. Okay, so what are the safety precautions? Now these safety precautions you have read many a times. So what are the few of the safety precautions that you must be careful about while using any electrical appliance or using electrical energy? First of all, you should be very careful that you do not touch any electrical device with wet hand. Do not touch electrical device with wet hands. This is a very important point that you must all remember. Should not touch the electrical appliances or switch or plug, anything with wet hands, first of all. Second is, you should ensure that the electrical connections are tight, they are not loosely connected. You should ensure that the electrical connections are made tight. Electrical connections are made tight. They must not be loose. Okay, because in case if the electrical connections are loose, remember one thing, you might have often seen that sparks are often generated. Those can be harmful, very harmful, because that can lead to fire. So be careful that the electrical connections are tightly fitted. The plugs, specifically the plugs of the switch that you use should be tightly fitted. Okay. What else? You should not be overloading, or you should not another thing that you must be ensuring that do not use copper wire in place of fuse wire while replacing the worn out fuse wire. This is very important. Sometimes what we do when we do not have any fuse wire with us, what we do, the fuse has been blown out, we take out the fuse and we replace that fuse wire with an ordinary copper wire. That is very harmful because the very purpose for using the fuse is then destroyed. Okay, so you are using the fuse for your safety purpose, but if you use copper wire, obviously the fuse will not blow out when excess current flows and it can cause very dangerous situation. So this is some of the safety precautions that you must be observing while using electrical appliances. Okay, so I think the chapter is now clear to all of you. The topics have been covered. In the next video we will be starting on a new chapter, most probably the electromagnetic induction. Okay, so till then keep on studying and please do comment. Don't forget to comment in the comment section if you have any doubt, any query, any problem, or if you want us to improve in any other way, then please do comment. Okay, and also please share our videos as much as possible. Subscribe the channel and also share the channel, so that with your support we can grow much bigger and help you, all of the students, to understand the science in a better way. Okay, so with that we will be ending our lecture here. We will be starting a new chapter on the next video. So till then please do wait for us. Okay, take care, thank you, goodbye.